All right, y'all, we're going to take a look at this boudoir photography business today. We're going to see if, for these two Google searches, if BSS is present. So we're back in the GBC universe, where we take declining boudoir photographers to the number one boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pinned video, home video, wherever. Now, this is because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got full spectrum intent capture here in white, highest intent people up above on the, you know, over here on the left. And this is for Google search, social media search, people looking for boudoir photo shoots in our city. Right now, these are the highest peeps way over on the left. So we talk about here, BSS. And then over on the right, we got the lowest intent people. They are actually people that ain't searching for boudoir right now and actually may not even know what boudoir is. But there's the largest volume of people that will actually exist. So that's our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. We're talking about BLCS over there. And that is currently we only work with boudoir photographers running more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads. So today we're, all these videos here talking about BSS. Now BSS is boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. So at 0 slots, that's bad. No bueno. 0 slots on page 1 is terrible. In page 2 or deeper because we know that approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. They're literally page 1 and done searches. So for approximately 80% of the market, those are who we care about. We got to maximize getting in front of those people and getting, because that's 80% of the market. That's the bulk of the market. 1 slot on page 1 Google, also not enough because we're still invisible. We're not standing out. We're looking the same as everyone else. And actually, when a buyer is going down and search and basically clicking on everyone's link, we're being price shopped against, well, there's 10 slots. We got 1, a maximum 9 other boudoir photographers. So we're literally being price shopped against everyone else on the page, open up everyone's website, doing everyone's contact forms, and we're getting price shopped to death because we're not standing out. We're looking the same as everyone else. Now, 0-1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. Common, not normal. Accepted and common, but no, not normal. And this is actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation, which basically everyone knows about, and the false belief of page 1 equality, which basically nobody knows about. So market saturation, that's when it seems like every week when someone gets a new iPhone, they're also throwing up the Google My Business profile and a website saying they now shoot boudoir. Or someone gets a new camera, they're posting the mom groups, they now shoot boudoir. And that's market saturation. Again, mostly everyone knows that. And a big flood of market saturation occurred. And when COVID happened, people lost their jobs, they still needed money. Everyone's got a phone with a great camera, so kind of easy to throw up. They already got the gear. It's easy to throw up that we now offer boudoir photo shoots. And then we got the second thing, which is new, is very few people know about, is the false belief of page 1 equality. So false belief of page 1 equality is seems natural that boudoir photographers, everyone kind of assumes that every boudoir photographer is either 0-1 slots on page 1 of Google. And no, that is not correct. Incorrect. Google will actually give us as many slots on page 1 as we want to put in the effort to take. And I know that because I've gone from 0 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 in only 10 days utilizing this new solution we invented. And no ad spend. That's only Google ads only literally gets you PPC ads only like 1 slot extra on the page. We're looking to take as many as possible. So falsely page 1 equality, that's where we're like, all right, we got we got our 1 website ranked page 1 on Google. We are but market got saturated, pushed us off to page 2. Oh, that's simply what happens when market gets saturated. We lost our slot. Now we're invisible. Approximately 80% of searchers are no longer seeing us. So that's simply how it is. And not even knowing there that we can take as many slots on page one as we want. So we aren't even looking for solutions. It's kind of this false leaf page one equality is kind of like a mental box or mental cage that people got to break through first to even see if there are solutions that can help, solve or alleviate the biggest problem with getting clients. And next, we know that Boudoir photographer with BSS Boudoir search sameness is a disappearing Boudoir photographer, a DBP. So we're getting our micro universe set up here. DBP with Boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page one equality. But thankfully, we now have a solution. BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. And it works exactly as the word says. We saturate social search with the highest intent Boudoir buyer keywords. So we always show up there on social. And then when we, when we actually get a ton of saturation there, it's kind of the backside of the Andes Mountains, kind of these small streams flowing into small rivers, all on social search. Those eventually flow into the big Amazon river. That's like flowing. Those eventually flow onto page one of Google if we saturate social search page one enough. So this is the magic of S-cubed methodology. And S-cubed methodology is literally the only thing I've seen other than brand, which takes 5 to 10 years to actually pay off or give the results we're going to talk about right now. S-cubed methodology is the only thing that I've seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation and allow Boudoir photography business to continue to grow, or has the highest chance to continue to grow in the face of market saturation. And this all occurs relatively quickly, not 5 to 10 years like actually building a brand. So imagine we got 1 million boudoir photographers in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. And when we, everyone's got their website fighting for, page slots on page one Google, then basically we got massive competition going on page one, and we decide, okay, we got to do S-cubed methodology to the maximum. So we do that. We get the first 300 slots across all social search and Google. And as a result, anytime any buyer in Minneapolis, St. Paul searches for boudoir photography, a high intent keyword, then we're basically the only person that's showing up on any search platform, kind of anywhere they look, or Google, taking the first 300 slots. And it's literally like, it's 10 organic slots per page on Google. It means buyers would literally have to go to like page 31 to actually essentially find any of our competitors. And we already know approximately 80% of searches ain't never going on. They ain't never even hit page 2. So who the heck is hitting page 31? And so whose business is growing in this situation? If we got, the first 300 slots across anywhere any boudoir buyer looks, obviously our business will be the one growing. And everyone's else will be disappearing, shrinking, vanishing. So, again, this is S-cubed methodology to the max. What's the probability that we actually get those 300? Who knows? But S-cubed methodology is the only thing that I've seen that gives a non-zero chance of achieving that. And so that's why I'm saying S-cubed methodology is the only thing I've seen that can successfully fight back against market saturation and actually, allow boudoir photographer to increase market share during this time. Now, once we read S-cubed methodology, we now have page one visibility, P1V. And, obviously the initial benefit of utilizing S-cubed methodology is getting more slots on page one, but we get the second benefit, initial benefit, which is kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. Yeah, so every slot we take, we're kicking a competing boudoir photographer off. They're on page two, and we also already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page two. So they're being hidden from 80% of the market. They're only getting 20% even viewing. And so they'll be disappearing soon enough. And page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. This is where we want, it's where I recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 basically 3 out of 10 page one slots comes from. And basically, if we got three out of 10 slots on page one, we're definitely going to be showing up more amazingly than everyone else with one slot, and even those with two slots, and way higher. And that two slots is extremely rare, anyways. So we're basically going to be dominating essentially every other boudoir photographer in essentially every other situation. We also know that boudoir photographer with BSV boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got our micro universe here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by market saturation and page one equality, or the false belief of page one equality, because people didn't even know a solution like this could exist to take as many page one slots as we wanted. We now do have the solution now. Thank the universe SQ'd methodology, we achieve page one visibility, become visible boudoir photographers with boudoir search visibility. Now here's the results I've gotten myself using SQ'd methodology. I wanted to rank for the term BLCS boudoir, so I utilized SQ'd methodology. So come down here to the organic slots. We got organic slot 1, us. Organic slot 2, us. 3, us. 4, us. 5, us. 6, us. 7, us. 8, us. And 10, us. So we went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search in only 10 days. So these are the results that I got utilizing SQ'd methodology. And so now we're going to check if this boudoir photography business, well, you saw in my picture, I definitely don't have BSS, boudoir search sameness. So we'll see if this boudoir photography business has boudoir search sameness for these two searches. We got a local search, then we got kind of the larger city search. So first one, we got West Pasco, Washington. And let's see. So, all right, we got one. Boom. We got two. All right, so we do not have BSS. Nice. I wonder if Boudoir by Rebecca is the same one. I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. You're in Pasco, Washington. So we got three. All right, dude, we're hit perfect. This is exactly what I want to see. I want to see at least the GBC minimum. So we do not have BSS for this Google search. Now we'll check. Now we'll check kind of for the larger city area. So go down to the organic. So larger city area, Tri-Cities, Washington. So we got one. Two, right there are the threads. Three, couples boudoir, okay, that's fine. It's got boudoir in it, so we got three. Hey, this is actually perfect. So we do not have BSS, and actually for local and city, they met the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10. So hey, dude, that's perfect. So we can confidently say they're probably not a disappearing boudoir photographer. Well, they don't mean it categorically because they don't have BSS, but probably not disappearing. They're most likely treading water or growing. So I got the the 3 out of 10. So it's perfect. This is what we want to shoot for. And then for those that want to keep growing the momentum, take more page one search slots, as many as possible. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer and you've done a local search for yourself, high intent keyword, as a buyer, saying you got BSS there, or you've done it the city search, you may have BSS there, or you've seen for either of those, you're not meeting the GBC recommended of 3 out of 10 slots on page one. And you're seeing that SQ'd methodology is finally your one way to solve that. Then, you're also taking into account the false belief of page one inequality. Yeah, it's false. That Google wants to give us as many page one slots as we want to take and want to put in the effort to acquire. So SQ'd methodology is the path forward. And you understand market saturation, the two prongs, people get new iPhones, people getting new cameras, and you like the initial benefits of SQ methodology, get more slots on page one, and also kicking competitors off page one, so you're on page two where you're basically never going to be price shopped against them. And you're liking all that. And with regards to market saturation, you're looking at, you've seen AI, you know it's going to be taking more and more people's jobs. And as that happens, you know more and more boudoir photographers are actually going to come flooding into the market. And as more and more boudoir photographers flood into the market, they're actually going to, increase the supply. And as we increase the supply of boudoir photographers, we're going to be, harder to compete. Page one, lowering the basically more supply, lower demand of page one, and as a result, you realize you got to kind of fortify page one against a new future big rush of boudoir photographers. So as you're doing that, well, you're seeing, okay, executed methodology is the only thing available to do that as well. And so you're liking all that. And you're also understanding that when we do executed methodology, we're actually kind of building kind of these invisible thematic keyword columns. And as we build these invisible thematic keyword columns, what's happening is they're kind of like, columns of the Parthenon in Athens, Greece, or kind of like, hub and spoke kind of spokes attached, to our business hub. And what actually happens is we're increasing the mind share, the back end, the kind of the AI mind share. And every day we successfully do, we're getting a higher and higher probability that we're going to rank here in the AI overview on Google. And we're also increasing the probability that we get recommended AI search as well. So this AI overview is really a, basically a kind of a premium placement. But AI search, dude, AI search is awesome as well because more and more people are using AI search every single day. And so this kind of invisible momentum building up in the background, and you recognize, man, this will also help you build a brand approximately 8x faster. Kind of all these benefits combined, kind of we're just showing up way more on everyone over time. And you're recognizing that it's better to, you decided you want to be a first mover on this because if you actually hop into this with your, and you exclude all your competitors from using this, because my plan is to only work with this with one boudoir photographer in a city, then what actually happens is you're building up all this initial benefits and future benefits of making massive strides, massive progress against your competitors, kind of putting a big gap between you and them. As you put a big gap between you and them, it becomes harder and harder for them to ever catch up. And conversely, if someone else, some other competitor in your city came with you first, or came with me first, and we're able to build a massive gap on you, get all those initial benefits, what actually happens is you'd have to rederive SQ'd methodology on your own. You would not know if you've successfully rederived it 100% correctly or not. So then you'd actually have to go and run SQ'd methodology on your own and match our output to then kind of maintain the gap between your competitor and you. And you would have to, you'd actually have to then actually exceed our output to kind of catch us and close that gap. So you decide, screw that. You'd rather be you decide you're going to be the first mover and not have to deal with someone overtaking your spots. So if that's you, shoot me a DM. Hospital is currently closed for new patients, but when we do open slots for new patients in the future, yeah, shoot a DM and we'll see if you qualify to utilize our S-cubed methodology.